And we're live. Give me a moment, guys. Sorry about this. Okay, I'm not getting any feedback here on the channel. There we go. Nope, that's not it.
Hey, what's going on?
Is it working?
I hope so. It says live.
Yeah, I'm showing live here. I'm just going to, yes.
Eventually there'll be a bunch of confused people going, why are they standing here trying to figure out if we're live? Of course we're live, those fucking idiots.
Okay.
Yeah, it says we're live on my end too.
Alrighty, YouTube, welcome. Bunty and Medusa still hasn't shown up yet. They're running a little late. No big deal. We're going to go ahead and start without them. With me right now, we have the Bearded Barbarian and Ren Michaels from YouTube. Please check these people out. If you happen to like their content, make sure to subscribe to them and like their videos because honestly, both these people are both very reasonable and Beardy is high fucking hilarious.
I don't know what you're talking about, man. Like that, I think is a misread. Whoa, hey, Medusa.
Hello, Medusa.
Hi there. How's everyone doing?
All right.
How are you, Medusa?
Good. You're running a little light. Can you turn your gain up?
I'm here.
All righty, and just joining us now is Modern Medusa. You can find her on Twitter and on YouTube, and also she has a fundraiser going on at LLOMM.com and ITG.net.
LLMM.
Pardon?
Oh.
LLMM.
Oh.
There's a F.
Oh, my bad. So she is one of the lovely ladies of the men's movement, and she's doing a fundraiser right now to help bring awareness to men's rights. Mm-hmm. And do you want to tell us anything about it before we really get started?
Yeah, sure. Well, you can actually buy the products that we have, such as the calendar, the 2018 calendar featuring me, reading Ren, Mercedes Carrera, Anna Cherry, Stuttering Soliloquy, all kinds of, and Bass Mama, all kinds of beautiful ladies. And yeah, those are for sale at on Indiegogo at igg.me/@/lovely-ladies. And all those links are on my Twitter and in every description of my YouTube videos. So.
My God. So we're still waiting on Bunty. So while we're waiting on him, let's go through a little bit of news. This announced just today on TMZ. Harvey Weinstein may have been fired illegally by the Weinstein Company, a company that wrote the contract said Weinstein could get sued over and over for sexual harassment as long as he shelled out the money. That was good enough for the company. So TMZ is privy to Weinstein's 2015 employee contract, which says that if he gets sued for sexual harassment or any other misconduct that results in a settlement or judgment against TWC, that's the Weinstein Company, all Weinstein has to do is pay that the company out along with a fine, and he's in the clear. According to the contract, if Weinstein treated someone improperly in violation of the company's code of conduct, he must reimburse the Weinstein Company for settlements or judgments. Additionally, Weinstein, will pay the company liquidated damages of $250,000 for the first instance, $500,000 for the second, and $750,000 for the third, and such, and $1 million for each additional incident after those three. So, my question to you guys: what do y'all think about that?
That's fucking marvelous. What a wonderful scheme. I mean, if I could just pay somebody off every time I murdered somebody, this would be wonderful. My life would be so much easier. I could just pickpocket the dead peasants and pay off my debts and boom, done, no problem. They got this figured. Well done.
That's how it works in Skyrim, come on.
I don't live in Tamriel. I don't get those kind of discounts.
Damn it.
Yeah.
I know, it sucks. It really sucks.
Yeah, that doesn't really make any sense to me, but I'm not rich, so I don't have that privilege.
Yeah, none of us have rich privilege or class privilege or whatever.
Rich privilege
is a farce.
I don't know. I mean, as long as As long as he's paying it, it's not the whole thing is logically for the company, for the Weinstein company. They don't have to deal with his shit. He has to pay them off for any damages caused at an exorbitant amount, hopefully significantly more than the cost of the situation. It's kind of win-win for the company, and they aren't directly endorsing the criminal acts of their face piece. So it's not so bad. I don't know. I think it's fine. It'd be great.
I just think it's actually kind of telling that they actually put that in his contract. Hey, it's okay if you harass, because we all know that sexual harassment equals her ass meant to be in my hand.
It doesn't say that it's okay. It just says that pay your bills for the prostitutes or the women that you treat like them, and it's all good.
Yeah, but didn't Bill O'Reilly get more hair? He just got fired immediately. Bill O'Reilly, you're just gonna get fired, kicked out. And there's another.
Well, he was a news giant. That's a little bit different. Hollywood's always been known for their lackluster
cock gobbling.
Yes. The reason why there's a whole casting couch porn series is because of people like Harvey Weinstein.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but listen,
what a pioneer.
Listen, the situation where there's a lot of, I think somebody said that there's a lot of pedophilia that happens in Hollywood. I think I heard it on Sargon's channel, actually.
Corey Feldman has actually been talking about that since the late 80s when he became irrelevant, probably because there just wasn't enough cock for him to gobble anymore. And he lost all of his movies because of that. So he probably knows a good bit about it. Medusa's trying to talk, but she has muted herself.
No, I'm talking to my boyfriend, sorry.
Oh, you're not supposed to talk about that on screen. It's all about the lustiness.
Oh yeah. Well, hey, maybe a wanted woman is more taboo. How about that?
There you go.
Yeah, well, she's at least freakier, I'll tell you that much.
Confirmed.
What'd you say? Sorry.
Nothing at all. Nothing. I'm kind of confused, though, how there seems to be any mystery or surprise that in an industry that's built around lying and putting on an act and the emotional manipulation of both the people performing in the roles as well as the audience observing them, that I don't get how people are surprised that young, innocent souls are being manipulated in that game as well. Isn't that fucking obvious?
Yeah, it should be.
It's part and parcel. It's an evil industry. It's how you destroy lives and souls and manipulate countless people. Why would you put children in that and expect them to be safe? We need to pluck children out of acting and keep them away from these clearly wretched people until they're old enough to stab them back.
Exactly. Sounds like a plan.
Alrighty, so I've just been contacted by Bunty. He said he is on his way. So continuing on with news, Plano-based Cinemark. Other movie theaters must provide interpreters for deaf-blind customers, court rules. A federal disability law requires Plano-based Cinemark and other movie theaters to provide specialized interpreters to patrons who are deaf and blind. This is at the same time, ladies and gents. An appeals court said Friday. The Philadelphia-based Third U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals ruled against Cinemark, the nation's third largest movie chain, in a case involving a Pennsylvania man who wanted to see the 2014 movie Gone Girl and asked the Cinemark Theater in Pittsburgh to supply a tactile interpreter. Now, a tactile interpreter is essentially someone who does American Sign Language, and the person feels as they make the signs, because this individual is deaf and blind, which I do not understand why anyone should be required to give interpreters for someone for an audio-visual experience. He's expecting the company to provide interpreters for him to go watch a movie.
It's okay for me to be the bad guy in this situation, right?
Of course.
Okay, good. This is fucking retarded. God damn it.
You know, and actually, I firmly agree with you there, Beardy, because this is an audio-visual experience. And if you cannot really take in audio or visual, I mean, just one alone, you really detract from the movie a lot. However, if it's both, come on, man, there's got to be better things to do with your time.
Yeah.
I can put up with screaming babies. I can put up with tall idiots. But I don't know if I can pay attention to a movie if somebody's doing American Sign Language in the middle of the aisle while I'm trying to watch Thor rape some save people.
Yeah, it doesn't really make much sense. I mean, at least if you could see and not hear, at least, I mean, you can always buy the movie and have subtitles. They do put subtitles, but if you could neither see nor hear, then why go, you know?
Absolutely. I mean, there's post-production or post-screening versions made available that have these additional things, such as, the written versions you can get that are in Braille or that can be interpreted or that have subtitles. And these are all available after the theater experience. This is really just some whiny person wanted to catch it first and have the whole world cater to it. And that's fucking nuts.
It is. It still blows my mind how someone who is deaf and blind at the same time wants to go to the movie theater. I mean, you miss out on so much of the experience being completely deaf and blind, like the children that won't shut the fuck up, the asshole who's checking their text in the middle of the movie. I mean, come on. That's what the movies are really about. It's really not about those films where actors who are getting raped on the backstage couch are getting paid $30 million.
Crawls out in the alleyway afterwards because that asshole wouldn't stop texting his friend and listening to music videos.
Yes.
My favorite part about movies is the popcorn, so I mean, I would just go for that.
You know what? I do that too. I actually miss that about the time I spend in the city, just walking into the theater, buying a big bag of popcorn, and then going home.
Yep. I need to. I think I might be going to a movie tomorrow, but I'm not totally sure.
Well, make sure whoever's paying for that takes out a nice low-interest loan to pay for it.
Totally.
Because evidently now the movie theaters are going to end up having to raise the prices if this is going to be a requirement. If you're going to have to keep people like this on the payroll, let's see. It mentions in here the cost of one of these people. Oh,
these people, geez, that's so insensitive. I can't believe you. I don't think that language is appropriate right now.
Yes, these people, as in these interpreters. You are looking at a cost of $235 per hour for an interpreter, and this person requires two, so he can fill them with both hands as things are going on, as the interpreters talk about what is being said on screen, and the other one is talking about how people are reacting in the theater.
What?
Yes.
Why the fuck would you care what anybody else thinks?
Well, this is part of the experience, though. When you go to the movie theaters, think about it. When you hear people gasping, laughing, or whatever, you're part of the group. You're actually experiencing what they're experiencing as well. And so it's a way of fitting in, I guess.
But it'll be delayed.
Definitely.
It's like everybody laughs, and then that one guy's like, like,
oh, that is so bad. Yes, and honestly, have you ever heard a deaf person laugh?
Sadly, yes. It was the most embarrassing day of my life. If you're not sure if you're dreaming and you're outside in public with your pants off, don't risk it. Go find pants. Just saying.
Alrighty, and still waiting on Bunty. Man, this guy is late.
Don't worry.
But that's
He'll come
okay.
with like a snazzy musical intro and a little dance, and he'll tip his hat, and he'll be like, "Hello, I am Bunty. I'm the purest man alive. Look at my smile, boyish charm, and moisten before me. It'll be great."
come on, man.
Beautiful.
You gotta ride in on a camel. Those things are fucking slow as shit.
That's racist as
I'm
fuck.
totally kidding.
No, it's true. It is undeniable. Bunty does ride the camel toe.
I've ridden a camel before. That shit's awesome.
What's it like?
It's humpy.
Heyo. So
I've ridden an elephant too. Not in the sexual way. Nope.
Oh, you meant an actual elephant. See, I just thought you meant a man.
Yeah.
You called the elephant.
Yeah, no, I meant a elephant.
bravo. In the Daily Mail today,
Renaissance
topless
man.
mother is killed when she smashes her head into a lamppost while hanging out of the car window during holiday in the Dominican Republic. This one should get the Darwin Award. A Russian woman has died in the Dominican Republic after a car accident, which involved her hanging out of the window on the passenger side while the driver
Yes,
recorded her on a mobile phone.
That
Natalia
shit.
Borodina, 35, from Moscow.
She's pretty sexy. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, no, I saw the picture. She was fucking hot. It was a shame to see her go,
Yeah.
but my God.
What a way to go.
Talk about
though,
giving
right?
a little bit ahead for a great stunt.
Hey-o. So Natalia Borodina, 35, from Moscow, had taken off her bikini top and was playing up to the camera while hauling her top half out of the car while friend was driving. Shocking video shows the mother of one letting her upper body hang out of the window in the moving car before she hits the lamppost. And there's a video. We're not showing it.
It needs to be put to the Benny Hill theme. I'm just saying.
I'm a little distraught myself because I'm anti-censorship, and well, I wanted to see them nips.
Right?
But if you're gonna go out topless, hanging out the side of a car, I guess. You know what the last thing that went through her head was?
The pole.
Lamppost. Yes. Terrible, terrible humor.
Wonderful.
I'm just glad they got it on video because that's really the part that's stunning.
That is
Why? What part? Like, her friend was just watching her do this and was driving, so she must have been paying some attention to the road.
Well, the thing
So,
is
like-
that when you're driving and people don't think about this, they align their hands on the wheel and they're like, I'm driving forward, and they look to the right or to the left. And what they don't realize is that as soon as they look, their hands turn a little bit.
Yep.
And the vehicle starts drifting, and then there goes your friend, and I'm much happier for it because you're an idiot and you didn't deserve that good of a person to begin with.
I wonder if she's gonna get charged with woman slaughter.
Oh, sorry. It just, I know I shouldn't be laughing. The slaughter that women leave in their wake is truly terrifying, especially if they have teeth coming out of the nether bits. It's just fucking frightening. But
Oh my.
the term is just fucking hilarious. I can't. I mean, I've been chopped to pieces by the tiniest little elves that I thought I could just pinch the cheeks and smack the bottoms and send them on their way, but every time.
Freedom Fighter says in chat, she was a hottie too. Definitely not entangled. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I don't know.
I honestly, if Ghastly was around, we
I
could
don't
ask
have enough
Ghastly.
information to make a proper statement on it, but it is my bet that it doesn't matter because a friend's an idiot and should have been paying attention to how she was driving instead of staring at a friend's tits, costing her her life before her tits had finished
That would be
reaching
it.
onto the internet in a glorious career.
That would be my downfall, killing my friend because I was staring at her tits.
Medusa, I'm never
Well.
letting you drive for me. Ever. I like to hang out of windows, topless, quite a bit, like a large fuzzy dog, and I don't want you killing me for it.
I figured that you would hang out bottomless.
I won't be able to resist those tits, man. I can't.
The movies.
What have I put on pasties?
The movies. That sounds like a movie
My
title.
milkshake brings
Beardbarian,
little boys to the earth.
the movie.
Oh,
Star-Lord says, damn, Firefox does not allow me to comment. I wanted to say AircraftSparky's a cool person. No, I'm actually an asshole, but thank you for the endorsement.
I thought assholes were cool. That was like the thing from like the 80s onward.
No. Honestly, I'm more along the lines of the asshole, kind of like Sloth from Goonies.
So you don't want to be cool.
Well, I tried to be cool. It just didn't work out for me. Now I'm just.
So what you're saying
that
is that
old
you don't want to be cool and you're just an asshole.
It's hip to be square.
Yeah, no, there you go. You're a cool guy. That's how it works, man. As soon as you stop caring and you're an asshole, you're cool. Deal with it.
Yes.
These are the rules of the 70s, 80s, and 90s all rolled into one by shitty pop culture standards. You just need a little polo, pop that collar, and step on somebody while you're out shopping for things.
But that means I'd have to wear one.
You could just rip the collar off of somebody else and hold it around your shirt. Who says you have to buy it or wear it? Really, you just need the collar.
And Bunty just tweeted, jumping in now, so we will wait on him.
Oh shit! I should behave then. I'm about to meet a paladin. I have to pretend to be a nice guy here. I don't want him to like run me through halfway through the conversation.
So Freedom Fighter in chat says, "Love the flag, bro. Thank you. This flag has been around the world with me. It has deployed to Iraq, Afghanistan, and to Kosovo." And Star-Lord, one of these days, getting poisoning the well in here and get drunk. AircraftSparky. You know what? I would love to get poisoning the well in here. I actually follow Tofane, so why not?
Fane's pretty easy to get a hold of. You just gotta ask him.
Yeah, I've just got to set it up. I'm actually talking to a couple of other YouTube creators, trying to bring them in. Oh, there's Bunty.
Hey guys.
Better late than never, brother.
Sorry about that.
Oh, no worries.
Greetings.
How you doing, man?
Hello, Bunty.
Hey, how are you?
Fine,
Nice to meet you too.
Yeah.
All right, Bunty. So,
Hey.
I'm AircraftSparky. Thank you for coming. The gentleman in the animal pelts is the Bearded Barbarian.
I know who he is. Are you always dressed up like that all the time?
Not always, but it's a lot of fun to do it. Sometimes I'll take the stuff off, but it's not very often. Usually when I'm trying to pretend to be a citizen so that I can go to the store and get like toilet paper and stuff, I'll dress up like a civilized dude, put on my ball cap, and I'll talk like a Canadian, and I'll just. But I don't like to do it. It's awkward. It's weird.
That's cool. Hi.
And of course, the lady in blue is Modern Medusa.
I'm Medusa.
Hello.
And the lady with the brilliant tan is Ren Michaels.
Hi.
Hi, Bunty.
How are you?
Fine, how are you? I don't pronounce it Michaels, so I pronounce it Michaelis, though. But
yeah. I'm sorry.
Michaelis? I got it.
Yeah, Michaelis, yeah.
I got it.
I like it. It's good style.
Yes, it is. It's good style. I'm gonna lean back a little bit, guys. I'm just chilling here. I'm just trying to relax. I had to re-record a video twice because the audio is bad, and hopefully now it's not gonna be bad, and I get to come out with the video. But it's been
awesome. I can't wait for you to. Is it for your Let's Talk series?
No, it's for my YouTube channel. Just my no, it's gonna be a different one. It's actually I'm calling it Twitter Numbnuts. So just literally just looking at,
I'm excited.
Yeah, just checking out some dumb tweets, stuff like that.
I'll work on making more of them for you.
Thank you.
So you and Logan, right? Is that who you're going to be featuring?
Oh yeah. I mean, I guess you guys saw that. What happened? I guess I don't know.
Oh, that was hilarious. I was watching it while it was going down, and you were on stream at the city. It was great. It was wonderful. It's fucking hilarious.
I guess it's funny because everything's happening at once for everyone, and for me, I'm just like I almost get detached from people like this. Like when Kevin started going off, I was like, all right, and I just started distancing myself further and further and further. And I'm just replying to him like I would reply to someone having a fucking temper tantrum. So I mean, and normally when I quote tweet is because I'm trying to get other adults to help me manage this man who's having a breakdown, this man child. And it's really just what it is. It was crazy. It's like he's talking about having concentration camps come up. I don't understand how that even comes up. How are you in that mindset? Like, how does that happen? Like, I'm a brown guy and I'm not even fucking scared of that. What?
Meth is a hell of a drug.
Yeah, it seems like it looks crazy. So silly. So silly.
It's good to laugh at it though. Oh my god. It is great golden comedy material. The stupidity of humanity at its finest.
I agree.
Oh my goodness. It's never ending.
Chat's commenting that Bunty looks high as fuck. Guys, no, he's fine. I'm the red-eyed fuck that was dropping eye drops in before the stream going, shit!
I don't even try to hide it anymore. I don't know if it's obvious or not, but...
Are you stoned?
Get away with it.
Yes, quite.
Okay. My friend's got a vaporizer here somewhere. I'm pretty sure I can use it, but I'm not gonna. I try to avoid smoking too much. I mean, I like doing it when I'm with my friends, once, twice once a week maybe.
3 times a lady.
Yeah.
The only reason I smoke so much is because I have like severe panic disorder pretty much, and like yesterday I was pretty much in the entire day, so today I'm just like ugh. I took a nap earlier, so I'm just like
Yeah, I know that marijuana helps a lot of my friends with levels of anxiety and stuff like that. For me, it's not. For me, it depends. I use it. I become very introspective. I end up like, it's so funny. Like is there something like a drunk dial, but for marijuana? Is there something like that? Is there an equivalent?
I don't remember what it's called, but the breathalyzer thing. There's a certain amount of like THC or that you can have.
No, I'm saying like in terms of a drunk dial, like when you're drunk.
When you accidentally call somebody, but when you're
not
stoned.
not accidentally. Like
yeah, no, the regrettable.
Yeah, drunk dials are like that.
Yeah,
but
I don't know if there's one for that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. I don't. Like, I end up messaging my like ex, and I talk about stuff. We talk about random stuff, and it's like she's like, you're stoned, right? And I'm like, yes, I'm stoned. Because she'll be like, I'll be asking questions. I'm like, oh, I realized this about myself. And so a lot of introspection. So I really try not to do it that often because I want it to be chill.
And see, I don't really do drugs anymore. I'm a military vet, and I drank the Kool-Aid completely. So drugs are bad, okay? And I don't really care if anyone else does it. I'm a libertarian. I actually think it needs to be legalized. But I do believe that we need to find some safety precautions, just for people driving. That's my only concern. So if you're going to do any drugs, don't do it and drive.
Oh, it appears that it's high dialing.
I don't think that. I don't consider. I mean, do you consider alcohol a drug?
I consider it a drug. I do imbibe a little bit of alcohol, but I don't drink for effect anymore. My father was an alcoholic, and I just don't want to go down that path myself. So that's just my personal choice.
Oh, that's good.
You know what, buddy? I've got your back. I will drink an extra portion on your behalf, and I will just sully the shit out of my liver and kidneys just for you, buddy. I got you. Got you. Brotherhood.
So, Bunty, of course, there's been a lot of controversy surrounding you, and mostly because you came to the defense of one Mouthy Buddha. Now, I actually agree with you on this. Mouthy, I don't believe, is a neo-Nazi. I'm watching his series. I'm waiting for him to finish it. I'm hoping that he actually delivers some actual criticisms, because right now he is just informing the audience about the propaganda and the beliefs of the alt-right. Is that your interpretation of it so far?
Well, it's not an interpretation. It's really like I talked to him about it, and I was like, what's going on here? And yeah, that's pretty much it. That's what it is. He like wanted to present both sides fairly, or all sides fairly, though how he presented those sides may not have been as effective as he had wanted it to be. And I mean, this is just in discussion with him. I'm not like overzealous of the fact, like I'm not like really responding to people who are like just losing their shit about him. Like I just keep telling them over and over again, I'm like, listen, the guy's not a neo-Nazi, he's not a Holocaust denier. Like he just made 2 videos that could have been made a little bit better, and he's fully aware of that, and he's coming at it with another. He's gonna be coming out with another video, and that's that. And he's definitely not a shit guy. So,
and that's the way I'm actually taking the whole thing. I tweeted at him yesterday, and I said, I'm going to reserve judgment on this series until it's complete, because I believe it's actually kind of unfair to the creator to make a judgment on a person that is making a series, and the series isn't complete yet. So you really don't know what the entire message is.
Yeah, I mean, also if you were to go to his if you were to go here, and if you were to go to his actual like can you? I'm just gonna go and share my screen right now with you guys.
Okay.
Share entire screen, boom. And if you look over here, like you'll see his videos, and you will see like that the majority of his stuff is like this one's like an inspirational video that he made, like an inspirational thing, And then there's just his like a live stream, and then he was he covered the N-word thing, and then he talked about like he's so like he just pretty much is just he's just like he can criticize the alt-right, the problem with the alt-right part 1 and 2. And there's another thing that really stood out to me. This Charlottesville video I liked, and also the heroes of Hurricane Harvey. Like, he's like, there's a bunch of videos that are just like normal, like skeptic videos, and that's his body work is so big that it's not like a fucking it's not like he's not some kind of like monster that's just there to make like Nazi propaganda. Like, the last 2 videos would be the things right there. Last 2 videos are the ones that
take exactly a lot of investigation to realize that this man just likes presenting facts and letting people observe them and make their own fucking conclusions.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous. There's nothing. Exactly. I don't understand this confusion people are getting. Like, I'm a bad guy. I will flay a child for stealing my food. This guy, this mouthy Buddha, he's just presenting an idea from multiple perspectives and trying to let people make an informed decision. I am trying to burn people alive. Clearly, one is evil and one is not. And mouthy Buddha is certainly not evil.
No, he definitely isn't. Definitely is not.
And that's something I just want to touch with that for just a moment with you, just so people who don't know about this don't jump to conclusions about you, Bunty. One of the things that I actually like about you is the positivity that you actually throw out on Twitter, which is, let's be honest, it's just a little bit less toxic than Reddit and about 2 steps less toxic than 4chan. So that's actually what got me to start following you. And one of the things that you do on your channel is your Let's Talk series. You talked about marriage, something that I actually am. You talked about how Charlottesville is our own fault, and I actually thought that was a very interesting take on that. And the way I interpreted it was the division going on in America and in the world now, and how we're kind of retreating to the tribalist mentality. So I thought that was a very interesting take that you threw out there.
Yeah. So I mean, for me, it's like. Charlottesville is like was this really crazy thing, because I remember how depressed I felt going like the aftermath of it. I remember going into a Starbucks and I looked so sad, and the person who was making my latte like asked me how I was doing, and I told her I was sad. And then she's like, "Why?" And I'm like, "Well," and then I just felt so silly explaining to her. I'm like, "Well, Charlottesville, like all these people, everyone's so angry at each other. That really bothers me." And it's just like, I don't know why people they kind of got lost. They kind of lost sight of the ball. Like, they don't know what's going on here. It's there's so much more to it. Like, they're not looking at it the right way. And so for me, it's always been about like, just fucking accepting the fact that there are people who are so fearful of change that they're revolting in a way that's like, that seems and is in some ways very hateful. And also the fact that like we've made this major shift in like just kind of making white people feel bad for being white, and it's like, dude, like, like, stop doing that. Let's stop it. Let's just forget doing that for a second, and let's just remember that like no one alive today like did some bad shit yesterday. Like there's no like there. You want to talk about white people profiting right now off of like a system that was set by like people who like who pretty much like used slavery to build civilization. Like, and like, I'm sorry, I'm rambling a bit here. I'm trying to like recollect my thoughts because there's 100 different things going on in my head at the same time, and plus I'm looking at Beardbarian over here.
Oh yeah, no, I'm trying not to derail you. I'm trying very, very hard not to.
Yeah, but you're derailing. You're like, I'm looking at you, and you're looking at stuff, and I'm like, what's he saying? Like, what's he looking at?
I'm coming to a startling conclusion here, Bunty. I mean, you're ultimately correct, but that's not what's important. That's irrelevant. What I'm realizing here, Bunty, is that you are the reason I exist in this world. You are my juxtaposition. You are my nemesis. You are such a pure and brilliant man who just wants people to live in loving kindness. So we're gonna have an epic duel. It's gonna be cool. It'll be sound effects, pyrotechnics. It'll be awesome. But I'm right there with you. What we need to do fundamentally is take all these people that have some degree of white guilt and remove them from the capacity to have white guilt. Now, that's the way that we can do this is by covering everybody's face in war paint and making them into barbarians and unleashing them upon the unjust.
I guess that's a good way to go about it.
Or we can just do the paint and have a party thing. I think that would make everybody a lot better. I mean, I'm not a good guy, but I want stronger communities because broken communities are so easy to raid and the challenge just isn't there. I want teamwork. I want teamwork.
I wish there was no challenge. It'd be amazing if there was no challenge for this and everything. I could just go on to doing something else. I wish I'd feel comfortable just like working a 9 to 5, because every time like I'm at a 9 to 5, I can just feel the world like imploding around me. And I'm like, no, I can't let this happen anymore. This is really, really bad. This is bad. I gotta fucking do something. I have to like go out on Twitter and talk to people and maybe make them feel like the world's a little bit better. And I feel like that happens often, like on Twitter. I feel like people see my tweets and they're like, man, like they was shit, but this guy just made me smile for that one moment, and that's perfect. That's perfect. Doesn't matter how many people it happens to in a day. It's just it's
nemesis.
I mean, for me, it's more like I know that eventually people are gonna fucking start figuring out that there are obviously things that need to be fixed. There's a reason why South Chicago is South Chicago. There's a reason why like some really fucked up parts of LA are fucked up. Like, why are they like that? Like, why don't they have better infrastructure? Like, what's going on there? I just feel like we're gonna get to those topics, but it's really got to come from a place where we're like, all right, listen, slavery happened, white people did some crazy shit, but the white people alive today did not do the crazy shit. Like, if you're like 20 years old, if you're like 30 years old, you weren't a slave owner.
Yeah, no shit. I mean, I keep trying, but the RCMP keep on busting my operation. Oh, it's infuriating.
So silly.
No, but you're absolutely right. I mean, it is true, and I really hope that people start to realize it one day, and that they're all just united by humanity and by a mutual need to survive, and that by understanding that they will band together and build some trebuchets so I have something fun to dodge while I charge into their cities.
Apocalypse, here we come.
It's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun apocalypse.
When I was in the military, one of the first things they teach you day one is it doesn't matter if you're black, you're white, you're yellow, you're whatever. Then they call you every filthy name in the book, and they tell you you're no longer this. You are now green. You're just different shades of green. So Bunty, you would be a medium shade of green. I'd be a light shade of green. Ren would be a dark shade of green. And it doesn't matter because we're all fighting for the same goals. And that's where I think civilization needs to come to. And this is why I started my channel, because I'm a conservative libertarian. And everywhere that I go on the internet, I am automatically dubbed a Nazi or whatever, because I don't fall into the progressive frame of thought. And
you?
Yes.
Call a Nazi.
Yes.
I did not see that coming.
Which is hilarious because I'm a quarter Pakistani. So, but can't see it because of all the French.
It's okay. It's okay. You don't need to. You can keep your insides on the inside. You're an all right dude. I don't need to like spread your entrails around and discover your history.
I mean, I'm hung like an infant, literally. But so, Bunty, you've been getting a lot of attention, man, and you've handled it well. How do you keep your positive attitude?
No. I just focus on the people that say nice things and are happy. And anytime someone says I love you and I see it, I always say I love you back, and I mean it. Because anyone says I love you is like the nicest thing, so appreciate that.
Yeah,
stop making me like you, Bunty.
That must be one brutal ass Pop-Tart.
Oh yeah. No, these are the greatest invention of the modern age. Pop-Tarts are the shit. True invention of evil.
Grape fast right now, where I'm eating literally nothing but grapes and grape juice.
Doesn't this Pop-Tart look good?
So much.
Evil.
Fuck you. I want a steak so bad.
I might Uber eat some food, but I don't know. I don't know if that's the move for me right now. Maybe I should do it. I'll do it right now while I'm here.
Yeah,
I'm
get
gonna Uber eat
some food on the way. Why not?
I'm gonna get some food on the way. It'll be my last Uber Eats though, because yeah, can't be spending any more money.
More raids. That's what we need. More raids.
Yes.
Fill the
Someone in the
coffers.
chat said, "I love you, Bunty."
Oh, I love you too. Whoever you are.
Yes, that was Freedom Fighter.
Yeah, I love you too, Bunty.
I love you too. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So
I want to say it, but I don't. My lips don't work that way. It's very awkward.
I know they're you.
You have to get out. No, that's not it. Damn it.
It's so stupid. What a silly shtick you got. I love it. I love it.
It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun.
I mean, you know that I started my channel off as like a dopey Indian guy, right?
Oh yeah. After you mentioned it, I had to go back and look, and I was like, oh my god. Here's the funny thing: I didn't start my channel as a dopey barbarian. I started it as a philosopher talking about traditional living and the merits of creating strong communities. And now I'm an asshole with fur. It's great.
Yeah, no, that's so funny that you. I'm very much I feel like I am traditional in when it comes to community, and when it comes to marriage, and it comes to like family, like but with a hint of like obviously like modern shit in the sense that like
I would drop kayfabe, dude. You and I are we're parallels. we're on the same page. I have to be an evil guy to balance out the bad. Yeah, no, I get you, man. That's why I keep making these jokes.
Cool,
but I'm very scary, and
it's because you're Canadian, man.
Kittens.
It's because you're Canadian.
Exactly.
Where are you from? Where are you from, by the way, in Canada? In Canada? Canadian?
I'm from Ontario, but I live out in BC right now.
Oh, okay. From Ontario, where?
I was born on in the Petawawa base, and then jumped around military family.
Ah, military family.
Yeah,
that would explain the traditional. Bit.
Yeah.
I feel like.
Well,
I feel
sort
like
of. I also came. I'm an immigrant, Roman Catholic Italian. Like I'm the firstborn off the boat.
Hold on,
like
getting a phone.
Old school.
Hold on. I do apologize. Hi.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. I'm a second generation American.
Oh, I'm so warm. I'm totally breaking kayfabe. I'm sorry.
No, that's fine.
Woo. I've been evil all day since I woke up, and I just want to cuddle my cat and feed her treats.
Oh. Oh. Gorgon just
Kitten, that right kitten. Yeah, now she's awake.
Alrighty, in chat we've got Le Perome says white people did crazy shit abolishing slavery. What? That's messed up. RS Nerd 08, it's an unfortunate part of our history, but what can you do? Yeah, that's actually a good point there. Nothing you can do about the past. It's all about looking towards the future. Freedom Fire says no homo. Why did you say no homo?
I think because he said he loves Bunty.
There's nothing gay about love unless the balls touch.
Yes, homo.
If the balls touch, totally gay. So the way you avoid that is you carry around a Crown Royal bag and you tie it around your testicles.
Exactly. Oh, that sounds sexy.
Unless you're the Beardbarian, and then you just probably have coarse ball hair, and the ball beard will protect you.
Well, to some degree. I mean, I braid it and I hang weights from it and swing it around in combat, but it doesn't really block.
Ouch!
Oh.
Right, there we go. There we go. I feel like there should be like Israel has mandatory service in their army, and I feel like why not?
I'm honestly a big fan of it for teaching people respect for authority in the sense of understanding the necessity of structure, how to work as a community, how to really push themselves. Hell yeah, I'm all for that. Absolutely.
Yeah, because I feel like Canada would be like really interesting because if they did that, like Canada on its own is not a very offensive country.
No. which is why it wouldn't really result in a lot of like a deployment or anything. But man, if we had Canadians with the sense of responsibility that would come from that,
I think that's true.
A whole new fucking world.
That's true. I've been really considering either becoming a police officer. This sounds so crazy, becoming a police officer or joining the military. The only thing is that, because I am pro marijuana, like right now it's a bit of an awkward time. Like
things are shifty right now in that regard.
But I mean, Quebec just released a form on the internet on asking people what they think their legislation should be like. So we're already kind of getting that on the way. Like it's happening fast. So like we're gonna have marijuana's gonna be legal soon. It's gonna be fucking legal in Canada soon. It's gonna be legal.
Jokes about overindulgence, but I'm one of the medicinal users in this country that's going, no, this needs to be more accessible for people that need it.
I know, but it's not gonna. It's gonna be regulated. It's gonna be regulated.
Which I'm happy about. I'm really happy with it. Like even if it wasn't properly regulated, I'd still be happy with it. If people were, if I didn't have to, I live in a small community. Our medical dispensary just got shut down. I have to travel to another city in order to find a dispensary. So for the most part, I'm left in the position where I need to purchase illegally off of criminals. I don't know the quality. I can't guarantee that I'm getting I would rather just have it be okay and be allowed to have a fucking dispensary in town.
It's so crazy that it's so crazy that they're considered criminals. I just find like for marijuana is such a
well, when I say criminal around here, I mean these guys are also like there's a big
like
everything else goes away. These guys are like, yeah, I got some weed, but I'm selling fentanyl if you want some.
Yeah, exactly. They're not like working in a cafe on the side, Okay, I got you.
Yeah. No, normally I wouldn't care. I got my hippies, but I moved to a whole different place off in the fucking woods.
See, I'm waiting for them to legalize it in America. But even like in places where it is legal, like in Colorado or Washington State or now California and such, what a lot of people don't understand is there's still jobs that will require you to have a clean drug test. And if you get caught using marijuana, you're going to be fired still. And in the military, that's going to be the case just because of the seriousness of the job.
Yeah. Listen, I do believe in being responsible. So I mean, if I were to join the military, I don't think I'd be smoking weed anytime soon.
Yeah,
just that's the truth of it.
Hey, pass me the mortar shell. Okay.
But I mean, I can imagine police officers smoking marijuana off hours.
I could imagine police officers smoking marijuana on the job.
Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't see that. I wouldn't see that as responsible, but
I wouldn't either.
But yeah, no. The thing is that like I feel like it's gonna start being treated like alcohol because at the end of the day, there's been plenty of studies I've done. I can't pull all of them up though, but like I know they're there. I've seen them in passing, and some I've looked into, and really what it comes down to is that marijuana is in a lot of ways better than alcohol. Better than alcohol. It's like it's not gonna destroy you the way alcohol does. I mean, if you like drink heavily one night, you're gonna feel like shit the rest of the day. But whereas it's with marijuana, you could get like pretty stoned and you just go to sleep and then you wake up perfectly okay. Like I never wake up fucked up after it if I do it. And you were saying something, Medusa?
Oh no, I just said that it's also better than tobacco in my opinion, and that's very accessible.
Yeah, it's totally it. I mean, then there's the whole question of edibles that have been coming in, so it's so crazy. It's like do edibles
There's something crazy for you, man. Edibles are banned on Vancouver Island right now.
Yeah, well, because they don't know how to regulate them.
No, because one old lady on the island filed a complaint. Like Vancouver Island Health Authority specifically went out and banned edibles because of a single anonymous complaint.
Wow.
What was the complaint?
Yeah. That she had too much weed. She had too strong of an edible.
Well, I think that's just it. So they're gonna need to regulate that in terms of like what you can put into it, because I mean they don't know like what's going on. I was at a barbecue once, right? And one of my friends made made like weed cookies, and And so I had one, and I was like, this is cool. I didn't feel anything at all because it takes longer to kick in. But there was another guy who had never had it, and he had one. And then he realized it didn't feel like anything. So he decided he would have a joint. And then he went and he had another one. And he was completely destroyed. Completely destroyed. Like, he was tripping. And I remember like looking at this one guy that he just had one. And I was just like laughing so hard while this one guy's freaking out because he thought it was over. It was done. Like, I was like, no, dude, it's fine. You're just tripping out. Yep. Too much. Don't do that ever again.
Have some water and a blanket.
Yeah.
At the fuzzy wall.
Yeah, it's just funny. It was so funny to see people who never experienced it experience it for the first time, but in a way that was really, really bad because they didn't listen to anyone around them. Because we were telling them, we're like, no, just have one. You're good. They're like, no, it's okay. It's okay. It's like, no, just
that's
have
the
one.
thing. Folks gotta fucking listen. It's not like booze. If you drink too much booze, you can puke, and if necessary, get your stomach pumped in an IV. We all think about that, but it's terrible. You know, you can force yourself to puke. You smoke too much weed, you're just gonna be fucking dealing with that shit for several hours.
Enjoy the ride, fucker.
Drink and shit until you're not going insane.
So looking at chat, Sir Wolfie has, I believe, said hi to everyone in the chat. So hi Sir Wolfie. And we have one gentleman in here. His name is JPM. He's a YouTuber. He's actually one of my friends. He's a visually impaired person. Earlier, Bunty, before you came on, we did a story about the cinema tactile signing lawsuit that happened in Dallas. I don't know if you've read about it.
Nope.
Okay, there was a blind and deaf man at the same time, same person, went to go to the movies and sued the company for not having an interpreter there to do tactile sign language. Now, we've already thrown our opinions out there, but sir, what would be your opinion on this kind of thing?
On what? Like this guy suing a movie theater?
Well, yes. Do you really think that it would be a movie theater's responsibility to have interpreters that cost multiple hundreds of dollars per hour to employed to?
No, absolutely not. That guy's an entitled prick.
Well put.
That's crazy, man. Like, what a shitty thing to do. Like, one thing I'm like thoroughly against is I think it's a form of ableism to cater to be like, oh, well, poor blind guy, or like poor guy without, like, that's, I think it's a form of ableism. Like, treat them like a normal human being. You know, like they want to be, they are normal human beings. They're fully capable of, like, if their brain is functioning optimally. In this case, obviously the guy's isn't, because he's tripping and he decides to sue a movie theater.
Yeah,
not having a service that's never available anywhere. But yeah, listen.
Why don't you just make your own interpreter?
Or at the same time, here's the other thing. Or at the same time, it could open up an entirely different industry.
It could. I just think it's interesting because since it's such a niche, it would be such a niche thing to have someone trained in tactile sign language at every, you know, how much would that actually cost the consumer in the end? Because if you're having to pay multiple hundreds of dollars per hour for this person to just be there ready, or would you, yes, we have someone available, but you need to make reservations. I mean, maybe that could be a little bit more suitable. However, under the American Disabilities Act, America's Civil Disabilities Act, every service has to have means to accommodate people with disabilities, you know, such as handicap ramps, which makes sense, braille menus at restaurants, things like that. But at a movie theater, since it's an audio and visual component to it, I think it's I think it should be exempted to a point. Because
yeah, I agree with you totally on that. Like, it does make sense to have like a handicap ramp, like for a person who's on a wheelchair and they can't climb the stairs. You need a ramp where, you know, to go somewhere. But, you know, it's like if you can't see, if you can't hear, why bother going? even if your family, it's like you gotta go, you gotta go. I mean, your family should just stop being dicks, you know. You know, it's kind of
Your
like,
family should learn how to interpret it for you.
yeah, yes, you know, to a certain extent, you just are better off just staying home. And like, or like, even if you can see the movie but you can't hear the movie, there's still like subtitles. You don't need a interpreter there for that.
Yeah, I've gone
Definitely.
to the movie theater with a deaf friend of mine, and she had like a little like stick thing with subtitles that went along with the movie, and I thought that was really cool.
That's really cool.
Yeah, and you know, a lot of the places. I mean, even I know like restaurants. I've seen they have braille. They'll have the braille menus and stuff like that, and I think there should be reasonable accommodations made. But I think going overboard and finding people that are, I mean, you're talking about less than probably 0.01% of the population would need someone of that skill set. I think that's just going a bit overboard.
Yeah, I think it's possible to be over accommodating because, like you said, it costs $230 per hour. So
Yes.
The
that's
other
just
side of this to remember is also that these interpreters that are doing American Sign Language or Universal Sign Language for this are in order to be able to fully translate, you're looking at about 4 years of schooling. The courses for these are ridiculously expensive. They involve a lot of work, and they're very, very challenging. This is a very specialized career field, and it also doesn't have a lot of broad applications. There's not a lot of people employed in it right now. There's not a high surge of investment into getting people educated in this. There's already enough strain trying to provide people who can interpret for use on flights, cruise ships, and emergency facilities. It's hard enough to get enough people in for educational facilities on top of all of that. Doing this is just going to put another irrational strain on it.
Yeah, because there aren't all that many people who are both blind and deaf. So just that's the reason why you don't see all that many people just going into that career field, because it's pretty much a waste of money.
It's also it's very emotionally taxing. I have a lot of friends that work in nursing and with persons with disabilities, and it's a very common theme in my life. And it's a very, very difficult field because people who are deaf or who need to use sign language, while you're learning it, there's often a lot of frustration if people aren't able to understand what you're saying, depending upon their challenges associated in addition to being deaf. It can be a big challenge. It can be very, very difficult. And it takes a very special kind of person to be able to step outside of themselves and offer that kind of service and assistance to another human being. And to, instead of encouraging the people that are doing that by properly rewarding them and seeing that they're treated justly for the jobs, forcing more people into a very difficult career field to tend to people is just going to result in more spite and poorer treatment for these individuals. And I don't think that's fair to anybody.
You know, this vaguely reminds me of how like progressives wants open borders and wants all of the Mexicans to come in here, which just forces everybody else to learn Spanish, which to me does nothing but causes resentment, you know.
Any situation where a person is caged and forced to make a decision or action is going to result in resentment, which is why I really like the Bearbarian theme. The whole thing is any person pushed to an edge will snap and turn savage. And we're doing that to a lot of people right now. We're boxing them into cages and we're backing them into corners and being real mean. And that's Bunty. That's why I love you, man. That's why I watch you. You are a healing light on that one, motherfucker.
I'm what, sorry?
You are a healing light.
Oh, thank you.
I'm watching you.
Thank you. Appreciate that, man. Sometimes I just want to fucking tear people apart, though, like Destiny. I want to fucking, I really like, sometimes I want to like, I was like, just like looking at Destiny and I was like, wow, this is a guy I haven't had the desire to punch someone in a long time. And I look, so like, that's a guy I would want to
talk about Omni Destiny
on
Twitter. Yes.
Oh yeah. Like I was like, this is someone I would fucking just, like, I don't know, if he was got in my face, I'd be like, I don't know what to do. That's why I'm like, it's just like, no. It rubs me the wrong way completely.
So I saw one of the best pictures of you the other day. It was your Canadian ISIS picture.
That was.
I
don't think it's-
I love that.
All right, say it again.
I don't think I've seen it yet.
You haven't seen it?
Oh no.
Here, I'll link in the chat.
So
It definitely
what
gave
is
me a
your
giggle.
what is your stance on guns?
The twins of you and Keemstar. That was hilarious.
Oh, me, twins one? Oh, that was good, huh?
Yeah.
Let's find. Let's show you two real quick here. This is stupid. Here, this is Ian Miles Chong put me and Lauren Southern next to each other. Let's put that right.
Oh, so you're talking about that picture where you and oh, I'm mistaken, Dad. I remember seeing a picture of you and Ramic Millennials together hugging.
Yeah, and apparently people were upset about that. Like, I don't know.
That's hilarious.
I don't know. People dislike roaming millennial.
I don't get it.
Well, you know, a lot of people think that she's some type of alt-right shill because she's hosted Richard Spencer on her channel. And I heard the interview. She didn't go that hard after him, but she wasn't too accommodating either. You know, so, and I kind of like the Steven Crowder bit, what race is she? He had her on for one of his shows on one of his YouTube deals he does on Thursday nights, and all the commercials was her doing different Disney cartoons.
That girl had to dance on a lot of eggshells and walk around a lot of broken glass in order to make that interview work the way that it did. And frankly, I think she handled it wonderfully. I was really surprised when I saw the note, like when she started putting out the ads for it, going like, "Oh man, what is she doing? This could look really bad for her." And then I went, "Wait a minute, if she handles this right, we could get a lot of useful insight and information." And she handled it right. I walked away from watching those with a whole lot of knowledge and understanding that I previously didn't have, because it's different reading a piece of text about what a person's opinion is, but watching them deliver it, seeing the expressions, their presence when they're delivering it, how they react physically to delivering it is a huge component. And being able to observe that body language and that interaction made so much more of a difference in understanding the root cause. Totally.
I haven't actually. I would like, I've thought of talking to Richard Spencer, but I don't think he wants to talk to me. I don't think he would want to, because I'm pretty much very thoroughly against his ideas, and it's very clear that like I'm not, like, nothing he says will really kind of like make me feel like, oh yeah okay, that's like apart from the whole like white guilt, like white shame thing. That those are the two things that I like. I'm like, yeah, I get that. That's so annoying and shit. The white hatred in the media, stuff like that. But when it comes to like ethno states and him like suggesting that I'm going to go somewhere else, or he's going to incentivize me to go somewhere else, a place that I don't even know. Like, I live here. I was born and raised here. What do you want from me?
Yep.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I have absolutely positively no interest in going to Florida. And it's kind of like they don't really answer the question, well, what if people refuse to leave? Like, what how are you going to have?
You know what the answer is going to be. You know what the answer is going to be. It's going to be a violent removal to get them out of there. That's what it would be. So let's I'm telling them that by telling them not to move, when that violent removal, if that does come, I'll be ready. I'll be waiting.
Yeah,
I got your back, man. I might slip under the radar because I got the right color scheme going on here, but I got your back.
You know, I don't understand the whole white ethno state thing in modern Western civilization. That just wouldn't work. I mean,
no.
What do you do? I actually like to do a lot of my videos. I use academic studies.
Mm-hmm.
And one of my mentors, who I'm actually taking class from, her name is Dr. Young Kim. She is a communications doctor, and what she specializes is interethnic communications, and she's huge into classical liberalism, something I really buy into. So I treat everyone like an individual. I don't give a shit about your sex, your race, or anything. I just try to treat you as a person. And, you know, I'll argue your ideas and try to not attack the person. However, that gets kind of hard, especially when you're fighting against people who do nothing but try to box everyone in.
That's
And-
why I do it as a comedy barbarian, man. It's hard to take that shit seriously when
I
you're
know, right?
from the multiverse.
In chat, Kieran Halcyon. I'm sorry if I'm messing up your name. AircraftSparky, remind Bunty that apparently he's a white supremacist too. Tariq Nasheed said so.
Should you got like a clubhouse
So-
for that I can come by sometime, crash on the couch? Like that'd be great. Just swing out east.
Let's see now something I actually wanted to touch on you with Tariq and get your thoughts on Tariq Nasheed. I'm sorry, Bunty.
It's okay. It's fine.
I actually have a theory that Tariq Nasheed himself is a white supremacist, and he's projecting.
Oh my god.
Well, I mean, he definitely is. He definitely is a white supremacist because he seems to think that white people have the upper hand in everything.
Yeah.
Yo, dude, stop
Wasn't
saying
there
that.
one time where he accidentally posted a swastika and complained about the Jews that
No, I know what his logo was supposed to be. It was supposed to be like it because it was like a bunch of like lines or lines connecting in what would seem like a network that is white supremacy that is headed by the swastika. That's why there were like lines going to it, which is like I was like I got it. I was like I get it. You're talking about a white supremacist network, but that was an amazing website and it was way too short lived. Like I wish it was around for a lot longer. It would have been nice, but yeah, that was and someone took it down right away, which is incredible.
I was looking forward to showing up on that list because of a bad joke and was getting all excited. And
I can't believe that I was up there with the fucking American senator,
wow,
Chris Reagan, and Chris Reagan. Like on the front page,
damn,
you go to
you were
SWS.
some kind of star there.
I don't know what the fuck's happening. I was like, why? Like he really dislikes me. And he made this video called the alt-right bandstand, and he went through everybody, and of course he put me at the very end, the last guy. Just like and like when someone puts someone at the end, they have like a special place for them, right?
Oh yeah.
In the
Yeah,
middle.
and the slow fade out with it.
I'm like, he's blocked me, but he hasn't blocked anyone else. He's blocked me.
He's blocked me. He blocked me.
Well, I think like I'm talking about like the creators, like creators that he really like Lacey Greens and like Chris Reagan, Ben Shapiro, stuff like that. Like he won't block them. Like, but he definitely blocked me, and it's surprising why he did. I think it's maybe because he deep down knows that I'm a pure soul, and he's trying to fuck with me.
It's hard to genuinely hate somebody that genuinely loves, man.
I don't know. Isn't there like a blocked by Tariq hashtag? Because Tariq blocked me like, I don't know, a year ago. And it's kind of, I don't even have that many followers on Twitter. And he just still had me blocked a long time ago. I have no idea what I said or did. I think I just disagreed with him once.
He blocked me last year. And Sean White blocked me last year, all because I tweeted out hashtag Sean White is white. Sean King is white. Sorry.
Sean King.
Yeah.
Sean King.
I'm a troll. Let's see. We got someone. Oh, where was it? Someone wanted me to say something to you, but Freedom Fighter Bunty wants you to move to America. He says Bunty for Congress.
No, sorry, man. Canada needs Bunty.
No, never. I don't think I'd ever go.
Y'all got Justin Trudeau. I mean, come on. He's ruining Canada now as we speak.
This is the funny thing.
But he's not, though.
he's not, of all the options that were available on the table, he was not the worst. And he's not doing what he said he'd do, but he's not fucking everything up.
He's doing. There's actually a website. Let me put this on.
Yeah. You mentioned that last night, and I started following that. But people need to take a look at that shit.
Yeah, this is this is what he's like. This is a site that lists every single thing that he has done.
Politimeter.politimeter.
That he's done, that he hasn't done. So he's the promises that he's broken and what he's like started on. And he started on a lot, and he's achieved a bunch. And pretty much
it was a slow start, but yeah, he's starting to motor through it. I'm not super disappointed. His personal politics or whatever, but thankfully it's not being too rammed into policy. The only thing that's going to make me go fuck Canada, I'm out, is if that child napping law that they slipped in Ontario, if you make a homophobic remark, you can get your kids taken away. If they try and federalize that and make me risk losing, I don't even have my fucking kids yet. But if anybody can say, I'm going to take your kids away because you might have said something mean on the internet once.
Is that the C16?
Yeah,
Is that the C16?
No,
model?
no, C16 is the misgendering one, but it's not even like those aren't. That's the thing. Like it's not even.
Yeah, it's not as bad. It can be taken really out of context, but hate crimes are just an amplification of another charge. So if you beat somebody up and you're getting charged for assault, if you shout fag at them, you're also getting charged for a hate crime. It makes the other crime worse.
See, this is my thought on hate crimes. Isn't all crime essentially all violent crime should be considered a hate crime, because you don't just go beat someone up because you love them. You know,
it's a little bit more nuanced than that. I get where you're coming from there, but it's when it goes beyond that, because there's just randomly mugging someone, but then there's randomly mugging someone because you notice the shape of the nose and go, I'm going to mug that Jew.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's where it becomes a hate crime.
Yes, what you're saying. It's different to randomly body or randomly arson charge, but then it's different to go, well, I'm going to rob that nigger, or I'm going to beat that nigger.
Exactly. It's the cause and the motivation. Are you just committing a crime because you're an asshole, or are you committing a crime because you're a racially motivated asshole?
Well, see, one of the problems in America, though, is the fact that you see that pushed onto any type of marginalized person.
That's just the day we live in, and we got to continue standing up against it and standing up for the due course of our judicial process. And
because
make a difference is by standing up to the courts and participating in our legal system.
Yeah, I do agree with what Bunty was saying earlier about white guilt and how I think the problem is the education system, because I think that the education system fills people with white guilt, because all you hear is like slavery and Hitler is evil, and you hear about how the Europeans came and they raped women and children, and you could turn on the TV, hear about the Holocaust again, and it's kind of like white people evil is the type of message you kind of gets in history class. So people don't think about things going the other way, and you would hear people like, I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with this name, but Joy DeGruy, and Joy DeGruy would come up with all kinds of excuses. And Joy DeGruy is where people like Gazi Kozo and Sensei Ashitamas, where they get their information from, and they're like, because she's kind of a lot like, if Black people do something like terrible to white people, it's not affecting white people as a whole. It's just happening to that one white person. But if white people are racist, they are hurting Black people as a whole. So therefore, racism is prejudice plus power, blah, blah, blah.
I love it every time that kind of theory gets put out there, because it just tells me that I'm the most powerful person on this planet. Like, I have myself the power in a single act to disparage an entire race of people, whether or not it was intentional. It's just, I have that power, but I'm so powerful that no matter what happens to me, it's only me. I can never be attached to a herd on it. I take it all on my own, for I am a stalwart bastion of a warrior in the face of the great storm. Like, it's, holy fuck, I'm not a guy. My whiteness is not a superpower.
Yeah, because I'd agree with Sargon on this one. Even progressives, even they're still like, white supremacists. They believe that Black people need affirmative action, or they believe that, like, when
it's
going to college,
bit of love.
yeah, like
that's
white,
for sure.
white people like need to score like this high to get into college, but Black people, if you're Black, you get plus 100 points so you could get into college. So in the end, even progressives are still white supremacists.
Yeah, I think some of the most racist people in America, at least, are of the progressives, because they set different standards based on the color of their skin. I try to look at people based on the individual.
I disagree. I think it's the Trix rabbit. He will not let anybody get near his fucking cereal. He's just like, no, I don't care. You're human. I hate you. I hate you. Get the fuck away from my goddamn cereal. Sorry, I can't help myself. Every now and then things get serious, and I'm like, no, I need a joke.
Yes.
Go.
Oh, Bunty.
That's why I like you. You're good at that.
Thanks.
Oh, you're just sitting there watching Medusa eat grapes, aren't you, Bunty?
No, actually, I was looking through I'm sorry, I probably looked so like fucking zoned. I was like, no, I was just looking through my my stuff. on Twitter and stuff like that. You know, that's it.
Keep
Yeah,
up with the cool hip kids and stuff.
No, just keeping an eye on like mentions because I can't ignore.
I get you. I have mine running as well.
Yeah, I actually was talking to Tim Blake before we went live, and if he wasn't, I was gonna try to pull him on just so you could call him out, Bunty, because it seems like he harasses you a bit online.
Oh, I don't.
Fights.
Yeah, I don't really want to fight the guy, but what Tim Blake is? What's his name again? Is Tim Blake?
Tim Blake's the AD motivator. You know, he's one of the more reasonable people.
No,
I like him.
I don't really fight him. Not at all.
Yeah, I just see him mentioning you a lot, and so I thought it'd be quite interesting to have him on, but he wasn't able to attend because of work. But I try to get people on every side together because I want what you want, Bunty. I want people talking. I want people talking across the aisles, and it doesn't matter what your beliefs are. I think we can all come to some agreements on some things.
Totally.
Like,
You know, I did try also to do the very exact same thing. Like I had Curiosity on, and I managed to talk to ContraPoints, and I think me and ContraPoints, I think we both had a very lovely discussion. But I also had Bearing on at one point, but I had Bearing on like last year, and the Justica or whatnot. I do, have like all kinds of people on my channel and try to, discuss different ideas.
Definitely. So I'm sure everyone knows about the Las Vegas shooting. I'm actually doing a video on this weekend, breaking everything down, including the distance this man shot. Using the Pythagorean theorem, I actually broke it down. His shots were around the average of 425 meters, which, considering the weapons he had, was not that big of a deal. Mm-hmm. But what do y'all suspect caused this person to actually go on a shooting rampage?
It's the chemicals they're putting in the water that's making the frickin' frogs gay.
Yes.
I don't know. I have no idea, man. I wish I could tell you. It'd be amazing, wouldn't it?
It's a 100% speculation sort of situation.
Yes.
There's so little information available.
Yeah, I agree with you. It would be speculation at this point because like even the police cannot even figure out some motive. I mean, I've been like watching the news.
There's a possibility he might have just
day
done it because he wanted his suicide to be newsworthy.
Yeah. And see, like, I won't allow his name to be said. He is Voldemort.
His name was
in my
Robert
opinion.
Paulson. His name was Robert Paulson.
Fight Club reference.
Plausibly, I think that he was probably a little psychotic because you can't really have the capacity to do something like that without a little bit of, cuckoo.
Yeah, I think he has psychopathy. Even when you look at psychopathy disorder or antisocial personality disorder, he does match. He does match the criteria for antisocial personality disorder because how could you just kill a bunch of
personality disorders are pretty dime a dozen. That's why they're written in as personality disorders. They're very easy to meet the criteria of, but they need to be directly diagnosed.
Yes.
Personality disorders are way too commonplace and way too easily self-diagnosable. Anybody who reads the DSM will be crazy by the end of it, is the old saying, because it's so easy to self-diagose when the materials.
Wait a minute, but come on, how many people?
It's definitely nuts.
How many people are going to shoot? How many people are going to shoot like 500 people or whatever? How many people are just going to shoot up as many people as he shot up? That's the reason why I say psychopathy, because what he's doing is like very, very abnormal. Not like, well, this definition could mean this to this person. This definition could mean that to that person. I mean, there's not going to be that many people who are going to shoot up that many people, without a motive, without, perhaps being depressed for a long time, or
he had like ideas and views that we don't necessarily know about that had just I don't know. When I see people who engage in like radical ideologies who are already a little bit crazy, it kind of just blossoms.
He
But
didn't have
that's
an
what I think is the
ideology,
most
though.
logical.
He didn't have
honestly,
an ideology,
sure.
though. Like, he had no religion. From what I heard on the news, he doesn't even have a religion. I think they said that he was an atheist.
I really think we would honestly know if they would just say the music that he was listening to, because if he was playing Bon Jovi, going down in a blaze of glory, we would know that it was just a suicide. However, that information is still not released. And yes, that's my attempt at dark humor. Sorry.
Don't worry about it. It was very funny.
It was wonderful.
But I look at it like this, when it initially happened, I put out a video on this last weekend, basically condemning everyone that tried to politicize it immediately. When this first happened, one of the first things you see on Twitter is a call for gun control. Guns don't kill people. If the savage barbarian comes and cleaves someone in half with his sword, do you blame the sword or do you blame him?
Absolutely. It is not my fault. It was the sword. It was not me. I am innocent. It is a glitch in the matrix of reality that just every now and then ends up planted and stuck in people. I swear it's not my fault.
And this was kind of what I was thinking about on it. It's a tragedy. Some people will say, oh, well, guns kill. No, my gun has never killed anyone. Well, anyone in the States. But it has never killed anyone out of sheer hatred. My guns are used for defensive purposes. And if they happen to shoot someone, it's probably because I pointed the gun at them and pulled the trigger. We don't blame cars when a drunk runs over the kid. Or we don't blame the alcohol. No, we blame the person who actually committed the act. And I don't understand why we hold different standards like that.
I think it's because alcohol is meant for enjoyment, cars are meant for transportation, and guns are only meant for killing.
I think I heard. I'm not sure I heard this from. I think it was referencing feminists, but I heard somebody explain it like you blame Islam or the Quran for Islamic terror. Something I forgot. Something about Islam and Islamic terror, and people blame the Quran for Islamic terror because
it's true. So they're saying she's pretty much saying like, why don't you just blame guns as well for all these mass shootings? Because if you're blaming the book, the Quran, the difference over there is that a gun doesn't come with a set of teachings that suggest that you're going to go to fucking heaven after you kill a bunch of people. Like, that's the thing. That's the difference. The other, but the idea. Sorry.
Sorry, no, I was just making a cheap joke. Go on.
Oh, okay. Well, the idea for me is that like guns are designed to kill. Like, that's it. I mean, there's no other reason why they were created. Like, they weren't created because, oh, you know what, I really want to make eggs better in the morning, so let me make this gun. No, straight up, like, the guns were there to murder people and like or kill people, however you want to phrase it. Doesn't really matter. So that's the main issue for people. They're like, why do you need this thing that's just there to fucking cause damage to something? Why is that a thing? And like, people need to come to terms with the fact that like, even though there's a lot of good people out there, there's still some people that are going to do bad things, and you need to be able to, you're going to need to be able to protect yourself. And I think that they're like, well, anyone can just get a gun and do something crazy. Then no one can just get a gun and do something crazy. Then listen, anyone can get a gun right now and do something crazy. They're not going to do it because that's not why people get guns. Like, normal people don't get guns for just doing crazy shit. Like, at the end of the day, who are cops? Cops can just as easily break the law, come over and shoot you right in the face and do a mass shooting. What's stopping a cop from getting a military grade weapon that's restricted for normal people and doing a mass shooting? What's stopping them?
Their own personal worth. I mean, honestly, it's what it boils down to is
100%. So it's like, why are we okay with having guns? Why are we okay with having like cops having guns, but we can't have guns?
Exactly. I served in the military. I spent a lot of time over there, and while I was over there, I met a lot of really good Muslims, and
of course you did.
I actually made some friends, and I actually helped a couple of them become U.S. citizens. They actually joined the military to get their citizenship.
Nice.
So it's hashtag not all Muslims. But what you see over there is you have a high amount of illiteracy over there in the Middle East, and these terrorist sons of bitches, they like to exploit that. They sit there and they tell people things in the Quran that isn't, and then you have corrupt imams that will sit there and preach the hadiths incorrectly. So you have these people who have no way to verify what these priests are saying is correct, being brought up, taught evil ideologies, and then you take one of their family members as a slave or something, and you threaten to kill someone's entire family if they don't strap this bomb onto themselves and blow themselves up. And that's the kind of evil that you see with the extremist version of Islam. But most Muslims are actually quite peaceful people, and they have the exact same goals in life that we do.
Yeah,
they just want to live a happy life.
I mean, I live in.
Let me ask you this. Okay, do you agree more along the lines of that religion is bad and should be removed, or do you think that we should just fix the literacy rates so that people could read things for themselves and probably, look at, there's different types of Muslims, like there's the Sunni Muslims, and there are Muslims who are peaceful. Should they just improve their literacy rates and learn about the peaceful type of Muslims so that they could learn how to interpret the Quran peacefully so they keep their religion and whatnot? Because it's like the skeptic community from the atheist versus Christianity community, right? Or
well, honestly, from what I've noticed, doing just something like teaching them how to read alone would not work. It would actually, people inside the community, inside the culture themselves, have to want to change the culture, and that is happening. Saudi Arabia just announced they're going to allow women to drive. It happens in slow increments. It's not going to change overnight by any means, but honestly, outsiders aren't going to be able to change their culture. They're going to have to change it themselves. And see, I don't blame the religion, because I actually hold to a religion. I know Bunty holds to a religion. I don't know about the rest.
No, I don't really hold to religion.
Oh, you don't?
No, I'm culturally Sikh, so I hold to the culture.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, because you technically, I feel like Sikhism is more of a culture than it is a religion. Like, it's really more about being, because they acknowledge other religions. They're like, yeah, if you're cool, and because they believe in God.
Yeah,
they believe in God. So I think that they believe in a universal God, and I think that that's something that every Abrahamic religion kind of believes in as well.
And see, honestly, I firmly believe that since all the religions basically teach the same thing, I just think they're different interpretations of the same events. And that's not very Christian of me, but that's the way I tend to look at things.
Yeah, because when it comes to
I'm laughing. Oh, sorry, I'm laughing because my friend's walking around in his underwear. It's hilarious.
Yeah. Is he doing the helicopter dick?
No, he just walked behind us twice, just being a weirdo. It's funny. Guys, I'm actually gonna have to go.
Okay,
right.
Well, I appreciate you coming, Bunty.
Well, thanks for having me. Appreciate you.
Yes. So people in the audience, please follow Bunty on Twitter and
it's okay.
YouTube.
It's okay. Don't plug me. It's fine.
All right,
We'll
brother.
talk again, Bunty. It was good.
Easy, guys. Much love. Bye-bye. Huh?
Thank you for coming.
Bye-bye. Nice talking to you.
Nice talking to you too.
Mm-hmm.
He's a nice guy.
Yeah, he's a very nice guy.
Halcyon, yes, I'm probably screwing that name up. Imam Talwadi is the truth. The man is genuinely a good human being, but that's the only Imam I can think of that I agree with offhand. He actually teaches a lot of things that you see within Sunni and Shi'i culture. I study the Middle East history a lot, so I really don't blame the religion. I blame the people, because ultimately it is the people responsible for their actions, not some ideology.
Absolutely.
So, Ren, do you have any big projects coming up?
I have you know, a few videos coming out. Like one is a joke video. It's just me joking, so it's going to be like 1 minute long. It's going to be like a really quick video. But then I have another video coming up where I talk about California collects or on whether or not California is just a seat reunion, and talk about AIDS and HIV, and how in California you could I'm not sure if it's illegal or a misdemeanor, but you could just give somebody AIDS and it's like no big deal. And not that, but it also involves the blood drive too.
It dropped from a felony to a misdemeanor.
Yes.
Oh yeah, you can, you know, so if you wanted to donate blood, but your blood is infected, you could like still donate blood. And I'm like thinking, this is still murder, you know? Like if you knowingly give somebody AIDS, you still committed murder, you know? Because why on earth would you knowingly do something that horrible to another human being? So
People
that
do
video
it.
is going to air on Thursday, but the video of me joking and just being silly and goofy, that 1 minute video, that's gonna be like on Monday or Tuesday.
I've seen many women who do like really fucked up shit and like brag about how many men they've given AIDS to because fuck men and she wants them to die and shit like that. It's
Yeah, the whole putting the period blood in the like spaghetti and stuff like that you hear about on these feminist sites. You know, these
sounds
cruel
delicious.
jokes that we can play on people. I don't buy into it. I think that's horrible. That's just bad form.
Wait, like sneaking period blood into someone's food?
Yes, you'll see this on a lot of feminist websites. They'll ways
They
to get back at your
could
man.
die.
Yes,
Why the fuck would you do that? That is
because people
so
are shitty.
disgusting. Oh my god.
You know, it's
Yeah.
just like someone farting bare-assed on your pillow. You know, you're going to get pink eye.
Ugh. Oh god. Or just plain out shitting in your food. Like, damn. Ugh.
If someone was
Yeah.
to drop a log into my food, I think I'd be a little upset.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah. Oh, you know, it somewhat reminds me of this woman. I mean, she was viewed crazy at the time, but who knows? Feminists, at least the radical ones, they would celebrate her now. But on Facebook, this was really viral, where this woman, she took a shit on her boyfriend's face while he was asleep.
Ugh. Why
Yeah,
was asleep?
probably.
Now, if it's a consensual shart, you know, hey, that's your own business. But if someone's asleep, nah.
The reason why she took her shits on his face while he was sleeping is because she believed, I'm not sure if it's been confirmed or not, if she knows for sure or not, but at least he allegedly cheated on her. Like she's like, this is what you do when your man cheats on you, you know,
Mm.
so.
my god.
That's terrible.
Wow.
But nowadays, like she was viewed as a crazy lunatic back then. But nowadays, I can imagine that many feminists are like, bravo, that's just an awesome.
Yeah, shit on your face.
Yeah, and I can see why the MGTOW community, you know, I can see why it's there. I can see why men would go MGTOW. I could see why men would be a lot like, you know what? I just don't want to deal with this anymore. It's gone too far, and this is just something I would rather go MGTOW and be alone than to just deal with this nonsense.
Yeah.
You know, if I could ever get the third dimension and actually, you know, bend myself to where I could orally pleasure myself, that wouldn't be gay. That would be masturbation because it's to yourself. I would probably wouldn't mind doing the whole MGTOW thing, but no, I like the company of a woman. That's just me. But you know what? We are starting to wind down here. I'd like to thank my guests for coming tonight. Bunty came and gone. Thank you, Bunty. Modern Medusa, Ren, Michaelis.
Michaelis?
Michaelis. And of course, the Savage Beardbarian.
It was a pleasure, mate.
Thank you for coming, and thank you for staying in character as long as you did there, Beardy.
Oh yeah, it was a long day, but my throat is raw as fuck.
So I do appreciate it, guys. People in the chat, please make sure to follow these people. Check out their stuff at least. Hit a thumbs up if you enjoyed this, and don't forget to subscribe to me. And I'm going to try to make this a series that happens maybe not on Thursday nights, but I'm going to try to make a weekly live stream series. And I appreciate your patronage. And y'all have a great evening.